Well, hello. Welcome back to Twin Speak. My name is Joe Prainito.
Hello, Joe.
Hi, Matt.
Oh.
How you doing? It's good to see you.
Not too bad. How are you, Joe?
We don't get to see each other very much.
You too.
Yeah. Well,
Actually,
last time we were together.
Last time we were together, we were together.
Yeah. Yeah. Last time we were together, we were actually together.
I guess this is what twins do.
Yeah. From time to time, we like to be together. So, and actually, last time, not only that, but how's your arm hair and your leg hair? How's that doing?
You know, my arms, it's because I have so much ink, my arms are just dandy. But every time I wear shorts now, I look down at my leg and I see this big patch that's just bald. And the hair's not really growing. And I think that's supposed to be the joy of waxing, is that it pulls the hairs out from underneath the skin. It just doesn't do a close shave. So
yeah.
So that was how's yours? How's yours doing?
It's not growing. It's funny because you're right. That's exactly right. That's the joy of waxing, I guess, is that, hey, for women, they're like, we don't have to shave for months. Well, like for men, it's like, crap, I can't grow hair for months, but anyways, but it's good to be back.
So have you shaved your face yet though?
I have, but I did not wax it. So there's that.
That's what I mean. You didn't wax it. Okay, good.
No, I'm not going to wax my face. Why every
Joe,
time I get to my dang nose?
I don't know why you keep touching your nose.
So let's talk about this. So before I left your house, Matt, you tested positive for COVID. I got home, and 2 days later, I tested positive for COVID. So I'm still getting over that, and you are over it, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm over it. I'm so over COVID.
So over it. I'm over it too.
I'm just over it. I couldn't believe I got it. I mean, like, COVID's a real thing again. But
I know
you were the one that started walking around wearing a mask.
Yeah. Well, I was tired of looking like you, and I realized when I looked in the mirror, I was like, oh crap, look at who I look like. So I started wearing a mask again, and I'm gonna tell you, my self-esteem much higher now.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you're not wearing the mask right now. So
no, because I've learned to love me. Even if I look like you.
Hopefully you can learn to love me. When you look in the mirror and be like, I look like Matt. Well, I love my brother.
Yeah. Well, after 40 years, I'm starting to learn to love you. So anyways, I don't count the first 7 years.
47.
I don't count the first 7 years of my life. I was told I had to love you, but after 7, I was like, this is a choice. So
it is,
anyways, it's funny because I had COVID, then your daughter had COVID. Now my daughter has COVID. So we've just shared.
Oh, your daughter has COVID? Okay.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right. Well, we're just passing it around from coast to coast.
Yeah.
Or at least from my coast to your middle of the country, Iowa.
That's pretty much it.
By the way, I thought of you yesterday. I was watching Twisters.
Did you buy me something? Did you watch Twisters yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Did you?
I went to go see Twisters yesterday.
Oh,
too.
really? Yeah, I went with my daughter and son-in-law. We saw Twisters. Yeah. It was a pretty good movie. Yeah, it was.
I was impressed.
When we're talking so high. Yeah.
I don't know.
Movie. Yeah.
It was. You know what? A lot like the first one, but they spun it in a much a newer way. So I liked it. I enjoyed that. I
did like the way they spun it. They spun it pretty good.
Did you catch that? Like they were spinning.
I did catch that.
A lot.
Yeah.
I like the way they spun it. And they even spun it in a way that there were twins. Is that when you thought of me?
Oh, there were twin twisters. The TTs.
Yeah. Yeah. Not twin sisters, twin twisters. Yeah.
Twin
the
twisters.
Double T's. Twin twisters, not twin sisters. But they did say sisters.
What are we here to talk about?
Well, today we are actually we're going to talk about music. But remember, this is Twin Speak, Christian music and other stuff.
Other stuff. Oh, movies.
Yeah.
Movies
yeah,
too.
So I guess right now we're talking about other stuff. But today we are actually going to be talking a lot about Crumbacher, which is this was an album that I bought when I was a kid. I remember both of us, we went up to the Christian bookstore, we would save our money, and you would go buy a cassette tape, you would pick one out, I would pick one out, and then we would share them. And I bought Crumbacher's Escape from the Fallen Planet. And you bought Benny Hester.
Benny from here, Benny Hester.
Yeah.
And all of this is because we went to a Christian night jubilation New Year's Eve at Knott's Berry Farm in Southern California with our parents. And so, and I remember actually sitting in the van. We didn't even know what we were going to do. Actually, that day, I think we went and saw the Three Amigos.
We did see
at
the Three
movies,
Amigos. Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
So we went and saw the Three Amigos. Then we piled back into the van. And I think our dad said, like, to our mom, "Hey, go get a flyer for who's playing tonight." It's like they didn't even know. And I was wondering why we're seeing Three Amigos and not at Knott's Berry Farm all day, because normally Knott's Berry Farm is an all-day thing. But when you had these jubilations, they would empty the park around 5 or 6, and it'd reopen again around 7:30 for the Christian night, which would go until about 2 a.m. And this was one of those New Year's Christian nights. But our mom's reading who's going to be there. Steve Taylor was somebody that was there, Randy Stonehill, and then Crumbacher, as well as Benny Hester. And I remember specifically our mom calling out Crumbacher and Benny Hester and Steve Taylor because we liked Meltdown. And so when we went to the Christian bookstore, you got Crumbacher and I got Benny Hester.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I was trying to think earlier today, I'm like, how many times have we seen Crumbacher? We saw him once that I fell asleep at Knott's Berry Farm. Then we saw him again at Knott's Berry Farm in the Good Time, or no, in the wagon camp from Thunder Beach. Then we saw him a third time at Knott's Berry Farm from Tame the Volcano. And then it was Crumbacher Duke that we saw at Raging Waters, I want to say twice. And then we saw one time by the wave pool and
twice
another
at
time.
Raging Waters?
I think we saw him with
Allies.
Allies.
That might have been Allies.
Maybe it was just Allies.
But I don't know if we saw Crumbacher. Oh, no, we did see Crumbacher there.
We did see him there.
Tame the Volcano. Yeah. And then we saw him at this little park area. Yeah, I think so, because I remember him wearing the hat. I think in photos we took. I don't know. I could be completely off.
You are off.
Anyways.
It's okay. That's why you're 47 and I'm only 40. You're losing your memory. It was Crumbacher right. Duke at Knott's.
By the way, did you know that? Yes, it was Crumbacher Duke. I thought maybe we saw Crumbacher 2, but we didn't see Crumbacher 2. Crumbacher, yeah, we just saw Crumbacher. But did you know that when we saw Crumbacher in it was 86 to 87, I want to say, maybe.
Okay.
Something like I think I'm trying to remember the year change for the countdown.
Right.
At any rate, did you know that Crumbacher's very first concert was on New Year's Eve in 1983?
I did know that, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
so, anyways,
I'm just
thank you for telling me.
You know. So we saw them like 4 or 5 years after that, which, I mean, to think your very first concert's that, and then you get to go to Knott's Berry Farm and play in the Good Time Theater right after Steve Taylor.
It was actually right.
Like, how many times? What?
How many times? What?
How many years we were in a band that never got that far after 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah,
but this is a different time, and they were incredibly talented. Are incredibly talented individuals, and it's funny because you could probably see Incandescent right up here on the wall, but that was back in.
If you're watching, I can see.
If you're watching, if you're watching it,
Yeah.
Then that's where it is, so you can be able to see that. But that would have been 83.
The one over your left shoulder, left, right.
Yeah.
Hold on to me. Yeah,
that's why you never made it anywhere, Matt, in music. If that's what you were singing,
I know.
That's the reason.
That's what I was singing.
Yep, you can stop the investigation.
That one. Well, yes, I wasn't.
So anyways.
I wasn't much good. I gave up a lot sooner than you did. I mean, your self-titled, or no, your solo album, the first one, the one called "Rescue Me," where you're sitting there, you had shirts made of your face on it. Even
I did not. Now stop that. Stop that. That's so dumb. Did you see in Twisters? He made shirts with his face on it too. So, anyways, but
I did. I thought of you.
I thought of you too. So, anyways, I remember taking this album home. I remember looking at the cover. It looks a lot like as you can see, it looks a lot like a comic book style.
Yeah.
That's the thing that first drew my attention. And I remember just reading the liner notes, which I have. It's funny, I have the liner notes here for well, it's really bright. But
It just
anyways,
looks like a white piece of nothing.
you see the other side. Here's the other
Oh,
side.
I can see pictures. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh. Do I have
there's the
that in
other
my
side.
album?
So, what's that?
Oh, I do.
So yeah, you do have
I
that
do have
album.
that in my album.
See that? Look at that.
That's right. Look.
Oh yeah. Look at
Yeah.
you. Look at you showing off. So anyways, but I remember looking at this album, reading the liner notes, studying all the lyrics. And the funny thing about the liner notes in this, which they used to do a lot back in the day, as I'm looking at this right now, each song has scripture references. So the funny thing about this is, if you're just looking at this album, you would be and listening to the lyrics, you'd be like, "What are they talking about?" And I
Right.
remember being a kid thinking that exact thing. Like, okay, we just crash landed. Okay, identical twins. That's you and me. Name droppers.
Yep.
Okay, I get that. And but I always thought, well, there's got to be a hidden meaning. But I knew it was Christian because there were scripture references. And
Yeah.
but anyways, and
Not
it's
every
funny.
band did that.
No, they didn't. But I think they made sure to do that because they knew that these lyrics, first of all, very intelligently written. But I think that they knew that people are going to be like, okay, what are we talking about here? Which I'm one of those people. Even over the last week, I'm like, I have listened to this album so many times and read the lyrics so many times, and I'm still on some of these songs a little boggled. Like, what are we talking
Yeah.
about? But I remember opening this album up, my tape, about I don't know, when I was in high school, and I saw a booger in there, and I'm pretty sure that was when you were
I
probably reading these lyrics.
I don't know. I mean, you okay? You've been the one that been wiping your nose, kind of rubbing it ever since
I
this
only rubbed it
this
a couple
podcast
times,
started.
but
So
yeah.
let me see your liner notes. I mean, I wonder if there's a booger on that, because if there is, it's definitely yours.
Mm. There's no
Oh,
booger on
yeah,
these
if we
liner
just
notes.
figured out who the booger bandit is. It's Joe
But here's the thing.
Prainito.
When I take a look at the thanks, it says they thank everyone at
You're welcome.
Frontline and Greg Laurie and Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside. And boy, that was our church for a long time. So from Riverside,
That was our
California.
church.
Matter of fact, we went to the same high school. I don't know if I've told you this story.
Go
but
Rams.
Go Rams. But Stephen
Go
actually
Rams.
reached out to me because I think I requested him as a friend, and he reached out to me and sent me a private message. And I remember seeing, like, I remember sitting at home thinking, oh my gosh, Stephen Crumbacher sending me a private message? Like, for what? And he
I don't think that
literally,
happened.
it did happen. I should probably go back and look just to prove it. But,
You should.
and he didn't come off saying, hey, I'm Stephen Crumbacher from the infamous band Crumbacher. Like, he was just
Yeah.
like, hey,
I don't
I
know
see
why.
that we're,
He should have. He's
that's the way I
Crumbacher.
would have introduced myself if my name is Crumbacher.
I know. That's the way you introduce yourself as Joe.
I mean, look at that face says rock star right there, right?
That
So-
face. You know what also that face says? Well, I'll tell you in a second. Go ahead and finish your little cap.
Yeah, it's an awesome story.
By the way,
So, anyways, he sends
cap
me the
is,
message.
is the new way of saying your joke or your fib. Like
This isn't a cap. It
capping.
is not a cap, and I've got no cap gun to fire it with. So, anyways,
Okay.
so this he sends me the message.
Touch that nose.
Hey, I see that you went to. Whenever I think about Crumbacher, I touch my nose. I made my head, but he sends me the message saying, "Hey, I see that you went to Ramona High School. I went to Ramona High School too." And so I start talking to him just about Ramona, and then was like, "Hey, by the way, like, I'm a crazy fan of yours." And anyways, and that started our a little bit of just kind of going back and forth about some other stuff, and which we're not going to talk about the other stuff because he endorsed the book and there was a concert.
Oh, you know
There was a
what? We should
concert.
just go ahead and play name droppers because you're like, he endorsed the book. Let's talk about
it's not
the
so
book.
much about endorsing the book, but it's
climbing
actually more about the concert. But
It's
we'll
the
have to talk.
concert. It's more of we're going to definitely have to talk about that sometime. Actually, we're just going to have to make one full episode all on that evening, just on that event alone. Your
Yeah.
book release party with the Altar Billies, which is kind of the Altar Boys. It's Mike Stan
Yeah.
with some Billies, and then
Yeah.
Crumbacher, who endorsed your book, also came out. But what's cool is that the whole band came out, and I know we can't really go into all of this, but having you and I just sit in the front pew and drool over him playing on the piano was just like, oh, this is everything. I mean, Joe, if you don't remember, I mean, I'm sure you do, but we always dreamed of asking a Christian artist to come and like sing for our mom on her birthday.
I remember that.
Like,
We
I wonder
wanted
if we
to
could get Carmen or Crumbacher or, well,
Kenneth
you made it
Copeland.
happen. We wanted Kenneth Copeland.
I don't know why. We're like, wouldn't it be awesome if Kenneth Copeland came and preached the sermon in our living room? I'm sure my mom would want that for her birthday.
I definitely, I think that would be great. I wonder how the love offering would go. He'd probably set up his tapes because he sang too. Remember?
Yeah. By the
In our
way,
convention center, we'd go. Yeah.
Girder Records. I don't know if you know what Girder Records is, but they're releasing a bunch of great records. But they have a vinyl of Kenneth Copeland for a mere $2.
Is that right?
I was going to buy it for you.
Well,
Yep.
I wish you would have. I mean, I would have loved that.
So
But
with
you
that,
know what? We're still talking about Crumbacher, I think.
we should, but we should. I don't know if
we're
we
going
have
to talk
any.
about his first album, the Freshman album.
No, we're actually going to talk about his sophomore album, which would be the second album from
That's right.
Crumbacher, which is Escape from the Fallen Planet. So, anyways, we already talked a little bit about the liner notes in here, but this cover, this cover, I think is.
That's a cool cover.
There's so much to look at here. You've got the people on the bottom, which if you can see,
They're kind
they're
of running.
Yeah.
One person is running up the stairs into a spaceship, and he's looking behind for the woman. Like I'm not going to leave you behind. That's kind of what it tells me. They're trying to escape.
I don't think so. I think it's like, hurry up, leave your makeup bag there. You don't need to take that with us. We're about to die.
Are you still running late? Like, didn't I tell you we only had 10 minutes left?
Exactly. It's like, just leave the kids. I mean, there's no, but we don't have the kids. Just leave them behind.
I thought I told you to take the cat. Where's the cat?
This is actually the original. This is the original beginning of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Because if you look,
I think so. If you, yep, yeah.
Look at those meatballs falling from the sky.
Yeah, there's meatballs falling. Hey, is yours not signed on the back like mine is?
It is, but it's over here.
Oh,
that one's a sign. I have two.
You have.
I have two
copies.
I do. Well,
okay.
Because I bought a pack of 3 records, Escape, Incandescent, and Thunder Beach, for like $15. So I was like, yeah. So now I have
good.
3 of them. I really want Tame the Volcano. I don't know if it's ever been released on vinyl, but gosh, I'd love to have that. So, but anyways,
I wonder if you could just put it on vinyl yourself. Ask your wife.
Yeah, probably could. I probably could do that. So
find a way to do that.
I can find a way to do that.
I like the back cover or the back of it. I mean, the front's cool. The back with the photos. But I always, whenever I looked at Stephen Crumbacher, thought that he was on the movie Some Kind of Wonderful. Like the bully. There was this bully guy who was always trying to come after.
Yeah.
Like there's a main character, and then he wants to ask out the girl, but the girl's dating the guy, and the guy looks a lot like Stephen Crumbacher. And so I remember always watching the movie thinking, oh my goodness, like Stephen Crumbacher that's Crumbacher.
That's pretty interesting.
He's in movies.
That's interesting that you thought that. What I always thought is that Jimmy Weisner always looked like a little like Randy Stonehill with his hair at the time.
He did, and his nose, kind of the long, narrow type nose and small mouth. Yeah. I don't know if it's good that we're like dissecting facial features.
I'm not dissecting the facial features. I'm just talking about his hair. Hair can change. You're dissecting his nose and his mouth.
You know what, though? They all don't look happy, though. Like, all of them look pretty upset. Like, they're kind of like, come on, take the photo.
No, it's funny.
Either that or, actually, I wonder if this is their graduating class photo.
Yeah,
get it
that'd be funny if
because
it
they
is.
have
So
an album on here. Yeah.
there's that, and if you can see, if you're watching, you can see like they definitely have the rock star, you know,
Yeah.
like hey, don't smile, nobody smile, and they definitely
Yeah.
have that. But the insert Don
It is
smiling,
not cool to smile.
no, they don't. They no
Yeah.
don't do
I
that. So,
noticed that.
but anyways, but then you
Yeah.
get to the music,
And
and
all of them have the same hairdo.
you know, you're right. I wonder who their hairstylist was. They're like, hey, we've all got to go to Edna. Go to Edna.
Probably
We've all got to
somebody in
go.
Riverside.
What time's
Yeah.
your hair appointment? Okay, well, I'm gonna go make an appointment with Edna too about that same time. Anyways,
Yeah.
either way, we would stare at their album,
Yeah.
their album, and stare at their pictures and wish that we were them. That's kind of what that came down to, and wish
It
that we
did.
can meet them
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So, but
This album
anyways,
though is there's their second album after Interstellar. And
no,
Interstellar was
you mean Incandescent?
what? I mean, Incandescent. I'm thinking
Like, I
Interstellar
never even heard of
Satellite.
that
I'm
album.
like,
Is there an album I'm missing?
I'm, t- I'm sorry, I'm tired. Incandescent. But Incandescent. I don't know if you knew this, Joe, but it was actually produced by Ojo Taylor of Undercover and Derry
Mhm.
Daughtry of the Choir or Youth Choir. But this
Yeah.
album, they deviated away from that, and it's self-produced, and they did a pretty good job, I think, because both sound really good.
I think they did an awesome job too. It's funny is I listened to a podcast which was talking a little bit about Crumbacher, and I forget who the interviewer was, but he had said he was like, "Man, I wonder, like it sounds so amazing. I wonder how good it would have sounded if Ojo did it." Um, and I understand where he's going with
Yeah,
that, but at the same
yeah,
time, I don't know anything different than this. It's funny because you can go through albums and we could be like, I like this song, I don't like this song. Um, but it really seemed like this era of music that we're talking about when you get to the 80s is that people were after making hits. These days, you come out with an album, there could be 15, 20 songs on it. And if they get a couple hits, that's good. But these albums, like, they had two sides, usually on a record and on a
yeah,
cassette. So your first song on side A had to be killer. Your first song on side B had to be killer.
yeah,
Like, so you always knew that
yeah,
when you're like, we're inching to the end of one side, to flip the tape, and it's going to be amazing. And so this
yeah.
one, I know we're going to preview this music, but I really think that this is a wonderful album. So if anybody has never even heard of Crumbacher, never listened to Escape from the Fallen Planet, then yeah, this is something you're going to want to check out. And it is on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's
Yeah.
on YouTube. So yeah. So anyways, but before we get to this, I do want to encourage everybody. Hey, we are out there. We are on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Um, we're on Amazon Music. We are on YouTube.
iHeart.
We're on iHeart. I'm
YouTube.
not sure who. I think we're on Deezer or something like that too. But anyways, I do want to encourage you.
Deezer.
Yeah,
I didn't know we were on Deezer.
yeah, something like that. Probably Napster too. But
We're really
anyways,
big in Estonia.
but but I encourage everybody, if you like it, comment, share it, like it. Allow us to kind of get this out there just a little bit more. So there's some awesome podcasts out there. There's Christian Geeks Rockcast, which is an awesome podcast, and actually they kind of deal with the same genre of music. And Matt, I think you've been listening to them lately too.
I have.
Christian
Yeah.
Geeks. But they're more towards the rock side.
Yep. They're great.
We're doing something similar, and it's not that we probably won't blend over to the rock from time to time, but and I don't want to say to the rock side. I really should say to the Petra side. We're going to get to the Petra side of Christian music too.
Oh yeah, because Petra means rock.
Because Petra means rock, right? Yep, you're picking up what I'm throwing down.
Petra means rock.
It does.
I'm picking it up. I got it.
So let's stop saying like
to the
hard rock.
side.
Let's just say hard Petra. So, anyways, but yeah, there's some great stuff
confusing
out there. Yeah, well, we'll just say hard rock. But
yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and get into previewing some of this music? What do you say?
Yeah. So the first cut on this album, released in 1986, this album is a Solo Flight, and so this is what this kind of listens to.
This is just an instrumental, isn't it?
It is. Yep. There's no words. Oh, there's voices right there. There's voices.
There are some voices. Come on, Jimmy. Kick that bass. And pretty much there's just a couple minutes of that.
Yeah. I mean, but it's really cool. It was one of those, I always thought that when there were instrumental songs, that maybe they created them so that we could write lyrics for them. Like, oh, they must have ran out of time to write lyrics, so this is one that I can just write lyrics to. Because some bands did do instrumentals from time to time, which is, I don't know, I think it's kind of cool that for Crumbacher's second album, they opened it up with an instrumental. Like, it's kind of an interesting way to open up your second album, but 2 minutes and 59 seconds of goodness.
Well, and here's what I want to say about this. So I heard an interview with Stephen Crumbacher, and he did say that this was a concept album, meaning it kind of has a storyline that goes throughout it, and with the hopes of maybe having, I don't know, some sort of a drama or something like that possibly. But so I think maybe even the instrumental could have been, you know, tied into the story, like, hey, we're starting the story. And then it goes into Crash Landed, which almost looks a lot like what happened here on the cover of this album. Quite a spaceship, I do have to say, but it doesn't look like it really crashed.
Well,
but
what's interesting is it has wings, which it's got to have jets that pick it up, because it lost all of its runway ahead of it, and I don't see a pushback tug to push it back. And so I'm curious to know what's actually going to happen there in terms of it taking off. Looks like they're in bad shape in getting out of there.
They're trying to escape the meatballs from what I can see. So I don't know if they're planning on taking off. It does say escape from the fallen planet. But if you actually look up towards the left, it looks like a planet might be falling.
Yeah, or a meatball.
It could be. Anyways, well, why don't we see? You know, what happens next?
Let's keep listening. I'm curious to know what happens in another time zone, because I mean, you're in a different time zone right now.
I am. It's 8:30 at night here.
If there's ever kind of a crash, it's usually in another time zone. It's not always in your same time zone. Let's see what this says.
Good point.
This is Crash Landed in Another Time Zone. Second track.
Long intro.
Yeah, I think so.
Looking around, I don't like what I find. Is this for real, or have I lost my mind? Could it be your familiar landmarks go? I don't know. Have I left him far behind? I'm 100 billion miles from home, and then my heart is crash landed in another time zone.
Yeah,
really
so
like that song. One thing I forgot to go and play really fast, because I thought it was actually pretty cool. Is if you look on YouTube, you can actually hear a concert of theirs back from April 29th of 1986, and this is their opening. So it's the solo flight. They actually open up with the instrumental.
Oh, that's cool. Is that the actual concert right there that you're playing?
Yeah, this is the actual concert. I'm looking and I'm watching Crumbacher dance. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
Have you ever watched this? Are you serious? Really? It's a 58-minute concert.
Oh my gosh.
Look.
Wow.
That's not on this album. But
no, that's on them.
I'm just skipping through.
Oh man,
So
I'm gonna have to go look at this
Crumbacher
today.
fans out there, you're gonna stay awake late tonight. But I thought it was so cool though that to see them like doing a full live concert, and it was in Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Oh man, that's a great place. Yeah, actually, that's where we got most of our like our pots and pans there. Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. No, they got some great stuff. Pottstown.
Yeah.
I mean
like that.
I don't know if that's where you got your marijuana.
That's I have never done marijuana.
Me either. That's one thing we've never done that. Never experimented with that. So, anyways, Crash Landed, great song.
By the way, they're on Frontline Records, and if I'm not mistaken, they were not on Frontline Records on the first album. Is this the first album that they were on Frontline Records? Yeah,
they were on Broken Records, which I believe was Ojo Taylor's. It was his record label, and but it did not go very far. I believe Broken ended up selling, and then Frontline picked up Crumbacher, I think, as one of their first artists, actually. So, anyways, that was one of their first artists, and gosh, we loved everything that Frontline had. I mean, Frontline had some great artists, and for the most part, it was Frontline who hosted a lot of the concerts that we used to go to in Southern California.
Yeah. When you look back on the concerts, even Reality Rock stuff was a lot of Frontline Records. If you remember Reality Rock.
Yeah.
That's another concert that you should see online. If you haven't seen that, is Crumbacher off of Tame the Volcano. And that
I saw that. That one is awesome.
That's so cool. And they play Once More, which is a song that you and I both loved. Once more with feeling. Yeah. So the next song, though, on here, I loved because you and I being identical twins, I always thought that this would be a fun song for the two of us to lip sync together if we ever did another song at a talent show, like we did with. We never did a Crumbacher song at a talent show. We did a lot of Carmen and Steve Taylor.
Yeah.
But
We
I
never
don't recall ever doing Crumbacher.
I don't know if we were Crumbacher fans yet. I don't know if we knew a lot about them.
Yeah, that could be.
Because we would have. But maybe we didn't. Maybe we didn't understand what they were saying. So, I don't know how we
could be. Here's Identical Twins, though.
Now this song is actually coming out of Romans chapter 7,
Such a great
verse
song.
13.
Identical
Yeah, it
Twins,
is.
It is.
It's funny because, it's like we would think it's all about identical twins, and really it's Paul when he's saying, the things that I want to do, I don't do. The things that I don't want to do are the things I do. Oh, wretched man that I am. And that's kind of where this is coming from. He says, why do I ever do what I don't want to do? Why can't I always be the better side of me? Voices in my heart will often ask me if I'm playing fair or breaking all the rules in this deadly game of double solitaire. Sometimes I think I'm identical twins. But anyways, yeah. So, I mean, that one kind of blatantly in your face, but you and I, still younger, thought it was just about identical twins. And we're like, okay, sometimes I think I'm identical twins, but the truth is I know I am. Yep. Great song.
Love identical twins. Let's listen to the next song.
What I also love, can I just say, we have to talk about this before we go into the next song, because we're going to go into name droppers, but we have to talk about how incredible their vocals are. And I guess they were in choir together or something. And a lot of their writing, they had to try to figure out, okay, in this writing, how can we write these songs and be able to pull this off live with their harmonies? Their harmonies are absolutely incredible. And with Identical Twins, you and I used to act this one out. I don't know if you remember that, but we used to act it out over at our father's shop. And I think it'd be a good idea for us to try to sing that and harmonize it right now.
You're a little delayed with me, so I don't know if that's actually going to happen.
Let's just make it longer. Let's just make it a little bit longer. And so I'll sing and you do the higher part, because you usually sing higher anyway. So, all right. You do the harmony. You do Don's part. Okay. Sometimes I think I am identical twins.
I think
I am identical. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah. Fires there fighting for my life, or something like that. I think I got the word wrong right there. Why don't we, because you're so good at this, why don't we just listen to the next song?
Name droppers.
I think, name droppers. I mean, you do really good name dropping.
Name droppers. Religious freedom fantasy is all the current rage. Modern history takes a dive and turns another page. Apathetic monarchies of undermined command. Rather take a bow than make a stand. Give a pumpkin a crown, name droppers, giving up sacrifice for gain. Blessing around, name droppers, taking the name of God. Name droppers, name droppers.
Yep, another great song, Name Droppers. I remember reading these lyrics thinking, okay, excuse me, okay, I get it. Taking the name of God in vain, name droppers. They're the popular crowd, name droppers, giving up sacrifice for gain. They profess it aloud, name droppers. And it says, like taking the name of the Lord thy God in vain. And it's funny because I was like taking the name of the Lord thy God in vain. So it's like, for example, taking the name of the Lord thy God in vain. But anyways, again, verses out of Matthew, out of Timothy. That was probably one of, if I could choose any song on this album, that would be the one for me. As I was younger, that was the one that I loved the most. I think think they've changed a bit. Like I might like something else differently now, but we haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, but Well, yeah, we can get there because I think that this next song is one song that I really liked. This is a Royal Command performance. Remember this one?
I do.
No?
What's this one about?
No? Oh,
what's this
let's
about?
show it to you. Here it
Okay,
is.
I remember this.
I love the synthesizer, and right there is just, it sounds like a robot's or somebody's big is running at you.
Yeah, that's what they're running from the cover. Big robot. Okay, introducing the melody.
Here. Oh, not here. Soon.
I don't hear it. Your favorite song, huh? You know a lot about it.
You've been waiting oh so patiently to hear a song that breaks from me. I know that it's a
Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
so the lyrics.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think I remember the lyrics, but gosh, these lyrics are awesome. It's all coming out of the Book of Psalms from what the liner notes say here. But one night gigs are bringing me down. I'm feeling blue. Fill my thought with hope in serving you. You've been waiting oh so patiently to hear a song of praise from me. It's such an honor to play for you. I know that it's an Royal Command performance. Strike up the band. I'm like, I guess
they're playing for royalty,
right?
Like that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's a Royal Command, and the performance, they're playing for God. Strike up the band and sing out. It's funny because even in church today, that's what my pastor was teaching on, was singing aloud, and how that's the way that, I mean, throughout the entire book of the Bible, singing is one of the things that you do to worship. It's one of the most important things you can do. And so to take that out of Psalms there and then turn it into a song called Royal Command Performance is kind of what you said out of a podcast. You didn't say it during our podcast here, but that they were saying their words are right there on the surface. I guess if you were to read what book of the Bible they're coming out of, and then read the lyrics, then it really associates. Like even more so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. So,
good times.
It was great that they put the scriptures, but yeah, I'm with you on that song. I don't think I actually, as much as I've read the lyrics, I think this is the first time I read them and was like, that's pretty cool. So I'm glad I can be actually. I
saw a little
along.
light go off. Yeah, I saw that.
Did you?
A little light go off in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
hey, this next song, I feel like I just went through this. I just went to Italy just with family. This song is called Tourist Trap, and boy, everywhere you go, there's people trying to pull you into restaurants, and the ones that they're trying to pull you into are typically the ones where they're going to have pictures on the menu of hamburgers. And you're like, you're in Italy, you should actually not have anybody pulling you in, but you have them pulling you in like, hey, you want to have our best pizza? Come in here. And then you sit down and you're like, oh, this was another tourist trap. Joe, is that what they're talking about in this song?
Well, it doesn't say anything about Italy, but it does come out of Hebrews, 1 Corinthians, and 2 Corinthians. So, I mean, I'm sure there's Romans in there someplace.
Sure there are some Romans in there someplace.
So, anyways, but why don't we go ahead and play it and see? How's that?
Yeah.
This is the one that I always envisioned a big monster with like 8 legs, like a big, huge spider crawling towards you.
Really? Okay.
Uncharted future, taking it as it comes. Cause when every day's a constant of your time. Yes, every joy of living can get lost within the bittersweet of time. Working day and nights, I know I'm doing right. And saving for the dream vacation of my life. And as the autumn colors turn, I hear the winds of Eden calling me away. To the ultimate conclusion, this is nothing like a normal holiday. Pressure drives out all the storm. It'll be so easy after all. Oh, but another day, a Tuesday. Oh, so sorry for try again. I say I'm the last chance now and then. Oh, but do I care? It's a Tuesday. Oh, why won't be another day until this track.
Yeah, the thing I always liked about Crumbacher's songs, that part where it's jing, you know, I don't know if that makes sense. The tourist trap, jing, jing. I don't know.
Jing,
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's
know,
exactly the way it is.
And if you even heard off of that video, I mean, they had all that in there live too. So when you see them,
they got
live,
the
you hear
jings,
all that synth. They have the jings. Yeah.
Gosh.
I don't know. I don't think it was from money. Like jing, jing, jing.
Yeah, I don't think so. So,
like,
anyways,
I empty out my pocket and like, oh, jing. Hey, we should try and reproduce that and put it in our song.
Yeah, let's make a change sound.
Yeah, like Chris Duke's like, I got a pick in my pocket. I got to pull that pick out, and he pulls it out, and the change comes out, and suddenly, jing, jing, jing.
How do we recreate that?
I don't know. I think I can do that on my synth. Stephen says on his guitar.
Don's like, I bet you I can do it too. Jing. Anyways, so the next song, Life of the Party. This is coming out of the book of Luke.
I used to love this song.
Yeah, so did I.
Was Luke the life of the party? He was a doctor.
If I'm watching The Chosen,
so,
yeah,
I guess
maybe he's giving life.
Is Luke in The Chosen?
Yeah, he is, of course.
Do you watch The Chosen?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't in a while, but Luke's there. He's one of the... Oh, no, he's not. Not Luke. Never mind. I'm thinking about the wrong... Never mind.
Who is there? Who would be there? I mean, just tell me who.
Just read the Bible, Matt. I don't even have to tell you.
Yeah,
read the Bible. Jesus is there.
I know.
Matthew's there. Matthew's probably my favorite.
Tell me about Matthew in the show. Like, 'cause he's an interesting character in the show. I mean, he's right out of the Bible, but tell me about his mannerisms to you. Like,
his mannerisms are very. He has the mannerisms of somebody who has not spent a hard day's work doing labor. Building houses or being a fisherman. He is somebody who's definitely sat behind a desk and done all the work that he did as a tax collector. That's the way that I would consider him. Yeah, like nobody taught him how to swing a baseball bat.
Would you consider him the life of the party?
Let's see.
I probably wouldn't, but this is such a great song.
It is. Yeah, turn that up.
The angels wait to hear if you be there. All heaven wants to celebrate. Wonder who will see there. All the arrangements have been made. There's nothing more to do. The cover charges have been paid. The rest is up to you. And you'd have a great time, so I don't mind asking. Don't you wanna be the life of the party? Don't you wanna be be the life of the party? Don't you wanna be the life of the party? If you should change your
Yeah, and this one is obvious. It's talking about going to heaven. He's
Yeah, if you don't read the lyrics, then it is difficult to see, like, okay, life of the party, and if you're not really listening to the lyrics, but it's clearly these are very Christian surfaced lyrics.
yeah.
I just love the way that they spin them, though. Life of the party. Don't you want to be the life of the party?
Right. There's all the arrangements have been made. There's nothing more to do. The cover charges have been paid. The rest is up to you, and you'd have a great time. So I don't mind asking. Don't you want to be the life of the party? I mean, just very clever.
But when you think
lyricist, very clever lyricist. I was just saying.
Yeah. To your point earlier, though, this is a concept album. So you have this, which is "Don't You Want to Be the Life of the Party," and then the next song talks about graduating. It's the alma mater, and then goes into graduating class. Which, Joe, I believe you were telling me this earlier, and you probably heard it on a podcast, but I don't know if you want to talk about it. But this song is a lot about Stephen's sister, correct? Who passed away.
Yeah, so I guess during the making of this album, from what I heard Stephen say, his sister had passed away from that she was sick, and he wrote this song "Graduating Class." And funny thing is I always had listened to this, and I always thought it was about graduation. I just always thought, well, it's automatically about graduation. And I guess this song was actually played at graduations before, from what he had said. But it's actually a song about graduating from this life into life to come. And if you actually check it out, the lyrics are kind of almost on a sad side. Like if it was slower music, you'd be like, oh. But it's all upbeat, and you're like, yeah, graduating class. And very cleverly written, but I remember reading this and being like, oh yeah, man, I can't wait to graduate. That's going to be a fun day. And we can see that, one day they will be graduating, into heaven.
Interestingly enough, I mean, it's funny
us.
that you would sit there and think about graduating, and how excited you would be to graduate. However, when being twins, when I graduated high school, you weren't there.
I was there. I was there. I was outside
school so much. I think you went and saw Junior at the movies, or went to Tijuana with your friend Joe. You were there. You just weren't walking. Like I remember people looking going like, "Where's your brother?" Like, oh, the idiot ditched. Like, he ditched school and he's not graduating. He's going to have to. He didn't have enough credits to graduate, because you should have been right next to me as we graduated together. But instead, you listened from the stands on a rainy night.
I was outside. It was raining. I remember that. And I didn't have a ticket to get in, and I was just sitting looking through the fence like I should be there. And people were like, "Hey, Joe, aren't you supposed to be in there?" I'm like, "I'm not graduating." And I remember leaving early too. I was like, "This is the most depressing day of my life." Like, I watched Your Name Be Called, and I'm like, "All right, let's get out of here." And it was a depressing night. So for me, yes, I didn't graduate, but I was in Tijuana. I did go see the Little Rascals as a kid, or as a teenager at the movies. I spent a lot of time at Denny's. Yeah. So, I mean, I have great memories of my own, just not graduating. I did end up graduating, but I didn't walk with my class. So,
yeah.
But anyways,
good. I'm glad.
But this song, it starts off with another instrumental in Alma Mater, which is about graduating.
You did. True.
Yeah. And then it goes into graduating class. So let's check that one out. are you doing there?
I got a text message on my iPad.
Oh, you shut that off. Well, that's a pretty long alma mater there. I mean, they already walked.
Well,
I guess they can walk. They can
it's
walk
going
again.
in. That's alma matters.
That is alma matters. Here we go. Graduating class. There's a part in here where the drums actually kind of skip, I remember. Coming up.
Other classes have their time to remember. Still on graduation days we cry. Just the calm and circumstantial point of no return. Now they have to give their wings a try. But it's always hard to say goodbye. I'm really gonna miss them graduating class. Their school days all been so fast. I long for where they go, with memories to fall back on. Thinking of the bigger and better things I thought. I'm so proud of where they are. To all of these halls at last, make the graduating class.
Yeah. It's funny. So, with this
Really
song,
good song.
yeah. So with this song,
The drums are really good.
yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But this part, so the lyrics. Another class, because it's talking about death again. Another class has had their time to live and learn. Still on graduation days we cry. Past the pomp and circumstantial point of no return, and now they have to give their wings a try. But it's always hard to say goodbye. I'm really going to miss the graduating class. Their school days all went so fast. I long for where they've gone, with memories to fall back on. They're moving on to bigger and better things by far. I'm so proud of where they are. To walk these halls the last, and make the graduating class. And yeah, I don't know. That's so awesome. But I had to laugh because as I was reading this, I noticed something on this lyric sheet. And I'm like, what is that?
What it?
I don't know if you see that.
No, it's hard to see. Maybe after production.
It looks
What
like
is
a
it?
booger. It looks like a dang booger.
Oh, see?
And I bought
It's
this
you.
off of.
You keep
It's not me.
touching.
I bought
You
it
keep
off
touching.
of
You
eBay.
bought it off of who?
I bought it off of eBay,
Oh.
but I'm like, is that chocolate or is that booger? But I'm like, maybe they actually just created it with just a booger automatically inserted. Because I'm like, seriously?
It's just, that's
Hey,
you know what?
hey.
It's not meatballs falling. It's boogers.
I got an idea. Maybe it's just a dab of a meatball. Maybe that's just in all of them. And I've been blaming my nose this
Maybe.
whole time.
Maybe.
Anyways,
Maybe.
so we have one more song on this album
Yeah.
called Interstellar Satellite.
Interstellar
And-
Satellite.
yeah. And this one has a lot of verses to it. And this one also actually talks about going and being with the Lord. So anyways, lyrics are a lot of lyrics, but very well thought out. So let's listen to this last one.
Under the earth and sky, perils and men on a quest of daring venture. Turning from the mist sky to trees, keeping a watchful eye, nearing the end of this planetary life and nature. How I waited to ride the beam. freedom from the transport of my dreams. Oh, won't you take me home? I'm gonna be your interstellar satellite. Sail beyond the outer limits of the night. I'll escape this fallen planet to everlasting oh, oh, Lord, I'll be your interstellar satellite.
Don't you like when you're like, if you're watching a movie and they say the name of the movie unexpectedly, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
they just said the name
Yep.
of the movie. This song says exactly that. Escape from the fallen planet.
I know.
Which is just really
And-
kind of cool. I don't think I've ever
I didn't-
noticed that before.
No, it's funny. I just noticed that today when I was looking at the lyrics. I was like, let me look up these lyrics. And I'm like, escape from the fallen planet. He says, where is it? Yeah, in the chorus, it says, I'll escape this fallen planet to an everlasting life. Oh, Lord, I'll be your interstellar satellite. And, but yeah, I can definitely
cool.
see how this can be a concept album and how it plays out the story. You know, now looking at it especially, and reading through these lyrics, and we didn't even read all of the lyrics, but I could definitely see that
No.
concept.
Well, yeah, because when you start at the beginning, I mean, even if you just were to think about what we've spoken about just in the words, but solo flight, even like you're by yourself, like you're not serving anyone but yourself. Like, and,
Right.
then it fast forwards through all these other, you know, crash landed and identical twins, and the process of living a life as a believer, and then graduating, and from the graduating class and going right into interstellar. It's like, okay, I'm graduating, I'm leaving this earth, and interstellar satellite is about going into heaven. So it is
Right.
a really cool, when you think of it that way, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
just really cool.
Yeah, it plays out. It plays out incredible. So I think honestly, after today going through it, I almost have a new love for this album, because seeing as a 9-10-year-old is one thing, but seeing it now, you know, as an adult living a Christian life, you could totally see this. So definitely a great album in their catalog, and gosh, it makes me want to go back and now look through Thunder Beach and kind of see, because I know those weren't concept albums, but still the lyrics are just that Stephen Crumbacher wrote were just had so much depth to it, and so much, you know, almost like, hey, I'm going to tell you this story, but this is what it means.
Exactly. I think what I also appreciate about Crumbacher is when you think of the albums that they have created, I've always thought about them being the same style of music, but in reality, they actually did change their genres through and matched what was really highlighted at the time. Because this album here is more of like a new wave, whereas the album after this, Thunder Beach, was more of a dance pop type of you know, album. And then you go into Tamed Volcano, which was a little more rock. But yeah, I'm eager to do the same thing. This is such a great album. I mean, especially being produced by themselves, but the lyrics, the harmonies, the instruments, yeah. We love you, Crumbacher. Come and do a reunion concert again.
Gonna have to. Yeah, I missed the last one. I think I was in Iowa. Was I living in Iowa when you saw him in at the House of Blues?
You were. I was living in Washington, but I flew down to see him, and with the Altar Boys.
I would like to see if we can get Crumbacher on. That would be really cool to be able to have him come on the podcast and be able to talk to him a little bit about this album. Actually, I'd love to talk about Thunder Beach too, because I have questions. Like, what is a Thunder Beach? I need to go back and reread lyrics.
I know.
think I have that one.
I want to go reread the lyrics as well. I have that.
I have that one. I have that
it's
one
right there. I see it.
Yeah.
I have the vinyl of that one as well. So, but that would be fun to talk with to all of them: Stephen, Don, Jimmy, Chris, maybe even Dan. But I mean,
I know exactly.
I'd love to just. It's been a while since we've had a conversation, hasn't it? I mean, name dropper.
Yeah, Yeah, I know exactly. Anyways, well, now we're about to
why
jump
don't
the
you,
shark.
yeah, why don't you just reach out to him again on Facebook and see if he reaches back out to you, and then you establish that communication of, hey, go Rams. And I'm doing this little podcast called Twin Speak. Would you
Yeah.
mind speaking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Maybe you wouldn't mind being an identical twin for just a little bit with us.
I wouldn't. I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he would.
This is our third episode, Joe.
This is our third
This is our
episode.
third.
Yep. So
Oh, it feels like we've done this before.
it
okay.
does. It
Well,
does. We've had technical difficulties.
We have this was fun though. So I think we're gonna round this one out. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to Twin Speak, for downloading, for listening, for sharing. It's a lot of fun doing this and talking about music that we grew up in, and and it's good seeing you, Joe, because I don't get to see you very often.
I know, seriously. And comment and send us messages too. You can send us messages. We're on Instagram. We're on IG.
Oh, on Instagram
under Twin Speak. So send us messages if there's an album you think of that you're like, hey, there's an album that I would love you to review that I think would be cool to review. Yeah, definitely send it our way. And quite honestly, if it's something we've never even heard, it'd be cool to be able to go back and revisit that, because I think this era of music is probably some of the best Christian music that we've seen. So hopefully you can be able to, listen along with us and maybe reignite some like old memories of these albums, or maybe you've never heard it either and you're like, let me try it out. So, but yeah, Matt, it was good seeing you. And we want to thank everybody for joining us with Twin Speak, Christian music and other stuff. I don't have any, we didn't wax our hair or anything today, cause we haven't had no feel that song today. No feel that song.
I felt every song, but not in a painful way.
We felt it. We felt it here.
Now you're jumping the shark. All right, everyone.
Okay.
Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you for listening to Twin Speak. All right. Bye.
Thanks, guys.